Okay, welcome. We will start today with session number 4 in the intermediate course of Mentor Personalized is module 1, Glib number 38 in the Perfect program. Okay, and we will continue today with the tense that we introduced in our last session. If you remember, it was past continuous, right? Repeat, past continuous.
Past continuous.
That's right. Um, Remember that past continuous has different concepts, expresses different ideas, no? For example, and the first one, the one that we saw, was precisely actions at a specific moment in the past. Gabby, what were you doing yesterday at 7 o'clock p.m.? What were you doing yesterday at 7 o'clock p.m.?
I am watching.
Ah, but it's yesterday. So instead of you use
Am.
I was because it's in the past. I was watching.
Yes, I was watching the Netflix
Okay,
yesterday at 7 o'clock.
very good. That's right. And what were you doing today at 6 o'clock a.m.?
I I take a shower.
It was at the specific moment in the past. So auxiliary being past plus
I
physical verb plus ing. I
I
was
I
taking.
was taking a shower at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Very good. That's right. Okay, so now we will continue with the second concept, sorry, which is the concept of simultaneous actions. Repeat, simultaneous actions in the past.
Simultaneous actions in the past.
Actions.
Actions in the past.
Very good. So in this case, we are talking about two actions occurring at the same time. Repeat, at the same time.
At the same time.
Very good. In this case, we will introduce what we call compound sentences. Repeat, compound sentences.
Compound sentences.
These are oraciones compuestas. Repeat, compound sentences.
Compound sentences.
Very good. A compound sentence is an idea formed by two clauses. Repeat, clauses.
Clauses.
Yeah, how do you say cláusulas in English? Clauses. Repeat, clauses.
Clauses.
Very good. And we are then introducing clauses. Okay, main clause. Repeat, main clause.
Main clause.
What we would call the cláusula principal in Spanish, and the subordinate clause. Repeat, subordinate clause.
Subordinate clause.
Yes, clause, como Santa Claus. Clause.
Subordinate clause.
Very good. The subordinate clause is a subordinate idea, okay? Or a secondary idea. Repeat, secondary idea.
Secondary idea.
Very good. So the subordinate clause is a complement to the main clause, okay? It's a subordinate idea, it's a complemental idea, okay? And it doesn't have complete meaning in isolation or separada out of the first clause. So you have ideas formed by two sentences, we can say that. Typical sentences of three elements. What are the three elements of a typical affirmative sentence, Gabi?
Subject, verb, and complement.
Very good. So in this case, we combine subject, verb, and complement using a connecting word, in this case, while, with another sentence with subject, verb, and complement. Okay, this is a compound sentence. Repeat, compound sentence.
Compound sentence.
Okay, so in this case, the main clause okay, has these elements, the subject, then auxiliary being past. What are the two conjugations of be in past, Gabby?
Was, were.
Very good. Plus the principal verb in gerund. What is the termination of a gerund verb?
Ing.
Very good. Plus the complement, including in this case the connecting word while, repeat while,
While.
which is at the same time. It's like if you said in Spanish, mientras que, al mismo tiempo que, okay? And another complete sentence with the same characteristics as the previous sentence. You see, these are identical sentences. For example, can you read example number 1?
I was drinking coffee while you were watching TV.
You
Yes,
were watching TV. Repeat, you were watching TV.
you were watching TV.
Very good. In this case, it happened
Yes,
yesterday.
yesterday, yesterday at 9 p.m.
Very good. Okay. So the two actions occurred or were occurring at the same time. Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Number 2.
She was reading a book while I was cooking.
I was cooking.
I was cooking dinner in the kitchen.
Very good. Number 3.
You were speaking in English
While.
while while you
Sorry.
were
Mhm.
you were giving a class at 3 p.m.
Very good. That's right. Okay. So these actions were occurring at the same time. Okay.
Okay.
That's simultaneous actions. That's what we mean with simultaneous actions. Okay, dynamic. I say a sentence and you say what you were doing while the other action was occurring. For example, I say, yesterday at 3, I was listening to music. And you say, can you read person number 2?
I was watching a movie while where you were listening to music yesterday at 3.
What is a gerund form of listen?
Listening to.
Uh-huh.
Lis-
Listening to music yesterday at 3. Very good. Okay, so let's continue. Today at 7 a.m., I was taking a shower. And you?
I was uh, cooking the the dinner.
No, cooking breakfast, no?
Uh, okay,
In the
cooking.
morning.
Yes, I was cooking a breakfast while you were listening. No, while you're
You, the
taking a
person, while
shower.
you were taking
While,
a shower.
while you were taking a shower.
Correct. Number 2. The day before yesterday at 10 p.m., I was playing video games with my friends. And you?
Um, I was studying an English while you were
Studying English? You mean studying English?
study study English
Ajá.
study English
No, perdón,
while
perdón, con ing. Studying. Studying
studying.
English, ajá.
I was studying English while you were playing um,
Video game.
video games.
Very good. Last week, this is last Friday at 3 p.m., I was shopping for food in the supermarket. And you?
Um, I I was dancing
Dancing, ajá. I was
dancing
dancing.
um, dancing
While
while you were shopping to
shopping for food, you can say shopping for food.
shopping for food.
Very good. That's right. So that's past continuous expressing simultaneous actions. Okay. We have the complete system of past continuous or simultaneous actions. In this case, remember that a complete system involves the four polarities of sentences: affirmative, negative, direct questions, and specific questions. Okay. So we will continue with the negative group of negative sentences. Okay, in this case, only the main clause can be negative. The subordinate clause is always affirmative because it is a reference, and we don't have negative references. So we have the first example. Can you read?
He wasn't watching TV while you was sleeping.
While what?
While I was sleeping.
This is correct. Okay, the first
While
sentence is negative, and the second is affirmative. Okay,
Mhm.
very good. Number two, can you read?
He wasn't watching TV while I wasn't sleeping.
This is incorrect because you have two negative sentences. So you don't have a reference. It's not correct, okay?
Uh-huh.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay. So in this case, we say she wasn't driving her car while I was listening to music. So, oh, she was sleeping. Repeat, she was sleeping.
She was sleeping.
That's right. Okay, so I say the affirmative sentence and you give me a negative example. My mother was cooking lunch while you were drinking water. Negative sentence.
Can you repeat, please?
My mother was
My,
cooking lunch while you were drinking water.
uh-huh. My mother wasn't cooking lunch while I wasn't. I
Aunque acuérdate que solo la primera puede ser negativa, la segunda ya no. I
uh,
was, while I was.
while I was drinking water.
Very good. So what was she doing? What was your mother doing?
I
No, porque dijiste,
my
my mother wasn't cooking lunch while I was drinking water. So what was your mother doing?
my mother was cleaning uh, cleaning a home
Cleaning the house. Very good.
house.
Cleaning the house. Perfect. Cleaning the house.
Cleaning the house.
Very good. That's right. Remember, only the first sentence can be negative. The second clause, no. Okay?
Mhm. Okay.
Very good. Okay, then we have direct questions, no? Where we start with the auxiliary, in this case, auxiliary being past. Can you please read the first one?
Were you talking?
Talking.
Were you talking on the phone while I was watching TV?
Watching TV.
Watching TV?
Right? Answer. Affirmative or negative, as you prefer.
Yes, I I was talking on the phone while I was
While you were,
when you were watching TV.
how do you say mientras que?
While
While, con L al final. While you were watching TV. Very good. Number two.
was she sleeping while at the same times I was working?
Okay, in this case, it is possible to use while or, ¿te acuerdas de esta, del or?
Or
At the same time, solamente una de las dos, porque son opciones.
mm, okay.
Okay, you can use while or you can use at the same time. Can you repeat your sentence, your question?
Was she asleep? Was she sleeping while I was working,
Very good. Or
or was she sleeping while was
no,
she
no, no,
sleeping
no.
at
Ajá,
was she sleeping at the same times I was work?
ajá. The same time I was working. Was she sleeping at the same time I was working? Repeat.
Was she sleeping at the same time I was working?
Very good. Answer. Negative answer.
I wasn't.
No, she wasn't sleeping.
No, she wasn't sleeping
What was she doing?
while I was. Um,
La
she
referencia siempre
was.
es la misma. La referencia siempre es la misma porque estamos hablando de ese momento. She wasn't sleeping while I was working. Repeat. She wasn't sleeping. No, she wasn't sleeping while I was working. Repeat.
No, she wasn't. She was sleeping while
She wasn't sleeping.
she wasn't sleeping
Ajá.
while you
I
was.
was working.
I was working.
Very good. What was she doing?
She was uh, w- walking,
Walking.
walking. She was walking
Ajá. In the park.
uh, in the park.
Okay, very good. And finally, we have specific questions, right? We'll start in question word, okay, where we have a different group of question words to use, but we will focus on the particular ones that we have here. The first one is a question for action. No? What were you doing? Can you read this question?
What were you doing while I was driving here?
Driving.
Driving here?
Driving here.
Driving here.
Very good answer. What were you doing while I was driving here?
I was speaking. Uh,
With
I
my
was speaking
husband.
with my husband while I was driving.
Ok,
Uh,
mira, bueno, mira, mucho cuidado. Si tú estás hablando aquí de you y aquí de I, eso quiere decir que yo te estoy preguntando a ti sobre una acción realizándose mientras que yo estaba haciendo otra cosa. No pueden ser la misma persona, ¿no? Entonces, la pregunta, what were you doing while I was driving here? Oh, I was drinking coffee while you were driving here. O sea, yo estaba haciendo esto mientras tú estabas haciendo el otro. ¿Qué estabas haciendo mientras yo dormía? Ah, mientras tú dormías, yo veía la tele. No puedes decir mientras tú dormías, tú estabas viendo la tele. O sea, tienes que ajustarte a la persona a la que nos estemos refiriendo. ¿Ok?
okay.
Again, what were you doing while I was driving here?
I was speaking with my husband while I was.
No, while you were driving here. Porque estás hablando conmigo, yo te estoy preguntando qué estabas haciendo mientras yo manejaba. Entonces tú me dices, estaba hablando con mi esposo mientras tú manejabas, no mientras Gaby manejaba, sino mientras Luis Gerardo manejaba.
Yeah.
¿Ya? Sí, porque son dos personas diferentes.
Okay.
Very good. Number two.
Where were where were where were you eating while I was calling? Uh,
Calling you.
I was calling you. I was calling you.
Very good. I was eating at Restaurante del Lago while you were calling me. Number three.
Who were you finding with while I was writing you to you?
Very good. I was fighting with my mother while you were writing to me. Okay? You need to practice that very, very much. Okay, so dynamic, say an action at a specific moment in the past and ask your partner what he or she was doing at that moment. For example, yesterday at 5, I was exercising. What were you doing while I was doing exercise? Answer, what were you doing, Gabby, while I was doing exercise yesterday at 5?
I was doing. I was um I was cleaning my my house
While,
while you was doing exercise. You were
very,
doing
mhm.
exercise.
Very good. While you were doing exercise. Very good. Okay, we have time over. Okay, so we have now this concept, realia and schema, that says that you can talk about realia or reality, or you can invent some fantastic information using schema. For example, realia. In the reality, I am Luis Gerardo. But in schema, in my fantasies, I am Iron Man. Okay? So you can invent, you can imagine, you can lie. How do you say mentir in English? Lie. Repeat lie.
Lie,
Uh-huh. You can lie, you can pretend. Repeat pretend.
pretend.
Uh-huh. Everything to practice the language. No problem. Okay, dynamic, be whoever you want and give a schema presentation. Hello, I am Iron Man. I am Iron Man. I live in Chicago. Yesterday, yesterday, I was fighting with some criminals, etc., etc., etc. Okay,
Okay.
this will be for homework. Okay, prepare a presentation. Homework. Prepare a presentation in schema, o sea, una presentación fantástica, como si
Sí,
tú fueras cualquier persona que tú quieras.
sí.
¿Ok?
Oh,
Excellent. Thank you very much, Gabby. Sorry. Have an excellent day and see you in our next session.
thank you, Luis. See you.
Bye.
Bye bye.